Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. The highly transmissible Delta variant is spreading across this country and the world. Even countries with higher vaccination levels than our own, and there are not that many of them, have started to see the Delta variant penetrating less vaccinated populations. In Israel, more than 80% of adults are vaccinated, with the vast majority of kids still waiting on their shots. And guess what? Delta has been fueling outbreaks in schools. Here at home, this familiar yet very unwelcome headline: hospitals in Missouri are once again low on ventilators in an area of the state with a low vaccination rate. Now, amidst all that, Dr. Anthony Fauci joined me on this program last night and delivered a blunt message about vaccines.
This is not complicated. We're not asking anybody to make any political statement one way or another. We're saying try and save your life and that of your family and that of the community. It's, we have so many things, as you said, so many diseases that I deal with that don't have solutions. It's very frustrating. You don't have a treatment or you don't have a vaccine. Here we have a vaccine that's highly, highly effective in preventing disease and certainly in preventing severe disease and hospitalization. It's easy to get, it's free, and it's readily available. So, you've got to ask, what is the problem? Get over it. Get over this political statement. Just get over it and try and save the lives of yourself and your family.
Apparently, that triggered some of the folks over at Fox News who took issue with Dr. Fauci's words.
The focus of this administration on vaccination is mind-boggling. Listen, in many cases, they've done a very good job getting the word out and getting the vaccine out. From Johnson & Johnson to Pfizer to Moderna, they're available if you want them. But that's not enough. Now you need to be berated by none other than Dr. Fauci because you're playing politics. That's the reason you may have not gotten it.
And does your doctor talk to you that way? He's clearly
Get
political.
over it.
Get over it. You have to take this shot. No. You talk to your doctor about your choices, and you as an individual, as an adult, get to make those decisions.
To shame people to get a vaccine is not effective. And it worries people that will turn eventually into a mandate when this is no longer emergency use, when schools are reopening.
I mean, your doctor should be pushy with you in circumstances like this, honestly. It is a matter of life and death. The Centers for Disease Control says that according to preliminary data, 99.5% of COVID deaths in the U.S. over the past 6 months occurred in unvaccinated people. And yet we continue to see this very worrying, dangerous trend of the right-wing media. You saw some of it there. People in the most conservative parts of the country turning against the vaccine. And the leaders of this movement are cowardly. They refuse to have the courage of their convictions. They will not come out and say they are against the vaccine. Instead, they take this straw man stance, saying they're just against anyone trying to promote the vaccine or, heaven forbid, mandate it. Which, of course, leaves out the crucial point. The government is not mandating the vaccine. In fact, that's the reason for the hectoring. It's the reason Dr. Fauci came on our program. It's why President Joe Biden spoke the other day about going door to door to reach people who have not yet been able to get vaccinated, which also stirred up all sorts of freakouts on the right. The reason the Biden administration is trying to cajole and persuade Americans to get the vaccine is precisely because it is not mandated. No one's making you get the vaccine. If it were mandated, Dr. Fauci would not have to go on national TV to talk about it. Even the president, the CDC director, and everyone else could just go home and shut up. So when the Fox and Friends and others on the right say they do not want anyone to try to convince them to take the shot, they certainly don't want it to be mandated. They just want it out there. What they're really saying is they don't want people to get the vaccine. If you're saying you don't want people to get the vaccine, come out and say it. But they won't say it because saying you don't want people to get the vaccines means saying you want people to die. Those are the options right now. It is what the data show as this variant becomes the dominant strain. What is particularly twisted about that and maddening, and I think about this every day as I read the headlines, there is a very obvious other avenue the entire right-wing MAGA world, conservatives, Fox News could take. Here's an example. Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel summed it up in this tweet. Quote, as Trump and Republicans were leading Operation Warp Speed, Biden was spreading doubt about the vaccine's efficacy. Biden should thank Trump for developing a vaccine in record time. Now, it's not like Donald Trump himself developed the vaccine. It is a kind of funny image, him in like a lab coat with like a little dropper. He does not deserve all the credit of the vaccines. The mRNA technology used in Pfizer and Moderna vaccines have been in the works for years. Some of the earliest sequencing happened even before Operation Warp Speed was launched. There's some arguments that the program, which doled out about $10 billion to accelerate the vaccine, gave guaranteed purchasers at the end, did help at the margins. But for the purposes here, it doesn't actually really matter. It's not like truth matters for Donald Trump, the Republican Party. What I'm saying is, if they're going to pick a deceptive narrative to go with, why not go with that one? That Donald Trump delivered us these miraculous vaccines, and we should all thank him and go get our Trump shots. The exiled former president has occasionally half-heartedly made that argument, telling the crowd at CPAC in February, quote, everybody go get your shot. But he's not really leaning into it. At the end of the day, he's just as scared of the anti-vaxxers in the base as the rest of his party, the rest of the conservative movement. All of them, from Donald Trump to Tucker Carlson, are cowards when it comes down to it. They're just chasing after the base. They're chasing the base. They're not leading. They're not telling them things they don't want to hear. When they should be telling everyone the vaccines were the greatest achievement of the Trump presidency. And you know what? That would be closer to true than 95% of the things Donald Trump says. They should be hosting MAGA rallies with max vaccinations and a free MAGA hat with every shot. They could do that if they wanted to. They could. They could do it tomorrow. Instead, they chose the path of least resistance. They chose to play into the paranoia and the opposition, the nihilism that is increasingly at the beating heart of this political movement. So in southern Missouri, where cases are surging, hospitals are running out of ventilators, the president and CEO of a local health system laid it out clearly. Quote, if you are making wildly disparaging comments about the vaccine and have no public health expertise, you may be responsible for someone's death. Shut up.